Welcome back to Combat Sports Weekly. We got two familiar faces. You guys know the routine. Let's get the roundtable started. Joining us first, as always, James Lindemuth, 6'10", the sports animal. When can people catch you?
Every Thursday, 5:35. Although during the football season, it may air a little earlier, around 5:15. And look forward to another upcoming show on Saturday mornings.
Yeah, thank you for joining us here today, especially. To his right, Michael Frankel, CageMindsMMA.com, does a lot here for the local media scene with MMA and boxing. What else are you on?
Find me on the DC Life, abq.fm. You can pull us up anytime. Also, Red Menace TV, got my own little segment there.
Pleasure to have you guys. Let's banter here a little bit. Let's jump right into the first topic that I sent you guys last night. UFC promo for the Holly Holm versus Ronda Rousey fight. Incredible. What did you think about it when you first saw it?
I mean, that's movie quality. I mean,
right.
It literally is. It's called Revolution. You can find it on YouTube if you haven't had a chance to see it yet. But, I mean, it basically chronicles, like, kind of the story of Ronda and Holly from when they were growing up. I mean, it even shows Holly in church, you know, the preacher's daughter type reference. I was blown away by it. And it just shows how huge this fight is to them. I mean, it really does, because putting something like that together isn't cheap.
Yeah.
You know, it was amazing.
One quick thing that bugged me about that, when she was in church, it wasn't necessarily her knuckles that were bloodied. It was the middle of the hand there. So that was a little bit. That's the only knock I have on the video.
Right. I mean, maybe a little over the edge. You know?
Right.
And I thought it was funny. It shows Ronda, you know, arm barring like the other girls at a slumber party, and I mean, it really was good, though. I mean, it's something that you see a promo and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to check the fight out. I watched it a couple of times. You know, that's how good it is.
Mike, is this the best promo the UFC's ever put together?
Best promo I've ever seen for a UFC event. I was blown away. I was jaw-droppingly good. That wasn't what I was expecting. You look at like the Aldo McGregor or something. It's not the normal video. It's going into the background. It's revolutionary for what they're doing, and I'm like, if you weren't hyped about this fight before and you're not hyped now, you're not a fan of the sport. You don't have a pulse. Yeah. I thought it was amazing. I was like, wow.
Well, and then the tagline at the end, you know, every revolution starts with a fight. You know, I mean,
that's when I got the goosebumps. That's why I said,
exactly.
Oh, that is incredible.
You get the chills.
I'm not sure if you know this. Were they really in front of each other in the cage at the very end? Was that like a shot they brought both of them in at the same time?
I haven't heard anything. I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't. I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't, because you notice they didn't get them in the same shot. They made sure to get Herb Dean.
And I think
so he was there for both.
To it. The fact that they weren't in the same shot at the same time. I think later on maybe we'll see another commercial that has them both face to face. So incredible. Obviously, we're excited because we have a hometown girl here in Holly Holm. And let's jump right into our next topic, guys. We missed this last week because we were out, but Jon Jones receiving an 18-month probationary, I guess almost temporary sentence if you think about it. What do you think about, one, what was handed down to him by the judge and his chances of coming back?
Well, one, let's hope for his sake that he's cleaned up his act, that 18 months will be easy. Talking to 72 classes or groups of kids, everyone, that's great. He needs to put that story out there, obviously, how you can let the hype go to your head, let the partying go to your head, and do too much. It's a great cautionary tale, like Mike Tyson already is a great one that the UFC puts out there a lot anyway. But it can't do anything but help, and, you know, especially on the local scene, they'll see it in front of them, the kids. They've seen him, you know, rise, and they can see the story come full round. Let's just hope for his sake that he wants to return to fighting. He has that little Instagram post look like he wants to.
With that said, when do you think he comes back?
I think they're going to announce him for April, whether or not it happens, or they just do it so that they can move forward with the suing of New York remains to be seen.
That's a great point. What do you think?
You know, it was good news. I mean, I really thought that, and the timing was interesting. It could be just my conspiracy theory brain, but the probation sentence is announced the week of Cormier and Gustafsson, which I found
funny how that works.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know what kind of pull the UFC has with the Metro Court here in Albuquerque, but I just found the timing to be kind of odd. You know, there's a lot of people out there coming and saying that he got off easy because of who he is, and, you know, he's rich and famous. If I talked to some prosecutors and former prosecutors, the sentence was pretty much on par with what would have happened if you were just, you know, Joe off the street. I mean, the prosecution failed to file discovery within 60 days, so in theory, the case could have been tossed out entirely. But Jon didn't pursue that. He went ahead with the plea agreement. The good news is he's already been making appearances in front of kids even prior to the plea agreement. Some may say that was just to lay favor with the judge, but I really think that he's taken it seriously. You had mentioned April with the venue in New York. It all just lays down too well, in my opinion.
And with his conspiracy theory, don't forget they announced the New York event the same week last week.
Right. Yeah.
Too many things, too many stars being aligned there at once. But either way, the publicity for him, unfortunately, negative. It ended up, helping the UFC boost. Maybe the pay-per-view sales aren't going to be astronomical, but nonetheless.
Well, and the folks that say that he may not be interested in fighting, if that was the case, why were his agent and Dana White both in the courtroom?
No, I definitely agree with you. We'll jump right into the next topic. Nick Diaz, we haven't had a chance to tackle this one either. Suspended for 5 years by the Nevada Athletic Commission. What did you think?
Honestly, I've got to be careful with this one because I've never been a fan of Nick, and ever since he fought Diego, and I've never been a fan of his brother Nate either. Do I agree with the severity of the punishment? No, I don't. I think it was severe. Was it in the rule? Was it in the rules? Did he know it? Was he aware of it? Absolutely. So if you know you're breaking the rules, whether you agree with it or not, you could be 100% right. You're still 100% suspended.
Right.
So, I mean, I do believe it was a little bit harsh. I was surprised to see some fighters coming out of the woodwork saying, I'm not going to fight in Nevada and this and that. And Dana's response to that is going to be like, bye, because he doesn't need him. So I do think it was too severe, but if you know the rules and you break them, you got to take your lumps.
Right, and he's gotten a lot of support from not just the fight community, but a lot of celebrities. Cher tweeted out the other night, "Hey, you guys fill out this petition."
3 million followers. Heck, the UFC said they're even going to throw their lawyers into the mix to help Diaz out, so they feel this is wrong. And let's not forget that he was tested 3 times. And that one test came out as he was dirty for marijuana, and that test was done by an unaccredited lab. The 2 that were done by the World Anti-Doping Agency both came back clean. So the one that you would normally look at as, the more straight-on correct test, the Nevada Athletic Commission is denying. So there's a lot in there, and also his background, I think, is what did him no favors in this. He does know, obviously, the penalties was his 3rd strike, but I still thought the punishment was excessive because I believe that they said the rule now was a 3-year suspension. 3 years is what it would be for a 3rd failed drug test. So those extra 2 years are just unfair and attacking him personally, I believe.
How much of this reminds you of Barry Bonds, though? I mean, if Barry had been a little more friendly with the media and with people like that, he probably wouldn't have been attacked the way he was at the end of his career. If Nick had been, a little bit less prickly when it comes to the commission and the media, maybe this doesn't happen.
And that may help them, the attitude and the history. But nonetheless, we're out of time here. Make sure you guys catch us next week, same time here on both Channel 26 and 27 on Comcast. Catch you guys next week.